everyone. I am Sarita Rawat, Assistant Professor, School of Pharmacy, Suresh Gyan Vihar University, Jaipur, Rajasthan. Today is our lecture of pharmacology, and today's topic is antibiotics. Before going to the lecture, the learning outcomes of today's lecture included basic introduction of antibiotics, drug classification of antibiotics, use of antibiotics, and conclusion. Now, learning outcomes of antibiotic included upon the completion of lecture, you are able to know about the drug that are used as an antibiotic. That you are also able to know about the application, side effect, and toxicities related to antibiotics. Then you are also able to know about the antibiotic treatment principles. Now, coming to the basic point, what is antibiotic? So, as you know, antibiotic is a form of antibiosis and it means against life. So, substance derived from a microorganism or produced synthetically like sulfonamide and quinolines to kill or suppress the growth of microorganisms. Now, we have a classification of antibiotics. So, when we classify the antibiotics, so there is a very vast classification. So, we have classified them according to the basis of mechanism of action, according to the basis of spectrum of activity, and on the basis of their mode of actions. Now, coming to the mechanism of action of antimicrobial agents, we have classified them into the 5 categories. So, as you can see in this picture, first we have classified them into inhibitions of cell wall synthesis. So, those antibiotics which inhibit the synthesis of cell wall in the microorganism that are came into this class. So, for example, we have penicillin, cephalosporins, and then vancomycins. Then the second class we have inhibitions of the function of cellular membrane. So in this category, those antibiotics which inhibit the function of cellular membrane came in this process. So for example, we have polymyxins. Now, the third class include inhibition of protein synthesis. So, those antibiotics which act on the inhibition of protein synthesis of the microorganism, those come under this class. So, for example, we have chloramfenicol, macrolide, clindamycins, tetracyclines, and aminoglycosides. Then the next class we have is inhibition of nucleic acid synthesis. So those antibiotics which act by inhibiting the nucleic acid synthesis of microorganisms. So it includes the quinine and the rifampicin. Now the next category is inhibition of folic acid synthesis. So it includes sulfonamides and trimethoprins. So these are the classification of antibiotics according to their mechanism of action as an antimicrobial agent. Now, the another class we have on the basis of their mechanism of action. As you can see, this is in the pictorial view. So this antibiotic, those are inhibiting the cell wall synthesis. So beta-lactam like penicillin, cephalosporin, and carbapins and monobactams. Then you can see the nucleic acid synthesis, those inhibit the nucleic acid synthesis and those inhibit the protein synthesis. So this is the picture view of according to the mechanism of action of the antibiotic. Now coming to the antimicrobial spectrum of the antibiotic, we have classified them into 2 categories. First one is narrow spectrum antibiotics and broad spectrum antibiotics. So, antimicrobial spectrum, the scope that a drug kill or suppress the growth of microorganisms. And we have 2 kinds of spectrum. So, first spectrum is narrow spectrum. So, those antibiotics, the drug that act only on one kind or one strain of bacteria, those come under the narrow spectrum antibiotics. For example, isoniazid. Then we have another category, broad spectrum antibiotics. So broad spectrum antibiotic are the drug that have a wide antimicrobial scope and which include tetracycline and chloramphenicol. So these broad spectrum antibiotic work on the more than one kind of bacteria or more than one kind of strain of the bacteria. Now, as you can see, on the basis of spectrum of activity, so we have a mycobacteria and gram-negative bacteria. So our tobramycins work on both bacteria. And then when we talk about the penicillin, so it work on the gram-negative bacteria, gram-positive bacteria, and clindamyces. So these we can use in these penicillin antibiotic in the three categories. So these comes under the broad spectrum antibiotics. As you can see, then we have streptomycins also, it also work on the mycobacteria and gram negative bacteria. Then we have sulfonamide and cephalosporin, so they act on the gram negative bacteria and gram positive bacteria. Then we have tetracycline, so they have very broad spectrum, they work on the gram positive, gram negative, clindamyces and rickettsia bacteria. So now when we see the isoniazid and polymaxin, so isoniazid only working on the one kind of bacteria and polymaxis is also working on the one kind of bacteria. So that's why they are the narrow spectrum antibiotics. Now, coming to the point next, we have on the basis of their mode of action. So, how they acting on the bacteria, like if their properties bacteriostatic or bactericidal. So, we have classified them into the according to their mode of action. So, bacteriostatics are the drugs that are only inhibiting the growth of bacteria, and bactericidal are the drugs that are eradicating or killing the bacteria. So in bacteriostatic antibiotics, we have tetracycline, chloramphenicol, erythromycins, and lincomycins. Then when we talk about the bactericidal drugs, so it includes cephalosporins, penicillins, erythromycins, aminoglycosides, and quatramaxol. Now we have misuse of antibiotics. So what happen when any person misuse the antibiotics? So what is the consequences of that? So antibiotic misuse, sometime called antibiotic abuse or antibiotic overuse. So the misuse and overuse of antibiotic may produce serious effect on the health, just like it is a contributing factor to the creations of multi-drug resistance to the bacteria and informally called superbugs. Now, antibiotic resistance and cross resistance. So, what is the difference between antibiotic resistance and cross resistance? So, antibiotic resistance is the phenomena that susceptibility of pathogenic microorganisms to antibiotic become lower or even less after the microorganism count with antibiotic many times. But when the bacteria show resistance to one antibiotic, they are also resistant to some other antibiotic also. So this phenomena is called cross antibiotic resistance. Now, mechanism of action of antibiotic resistance. So how antibiotic resistance can occur? So the first type is alteration of the target site of the antibiotic. So one of the most problematic antibiotic resistance worldwide is methicillin. So, methicillin resistance. So among Streptococcus aureus and enzyme inhibitions of the antibiotics. So beta-lactam antibiotics like penicillin and cephalosporin can be inactivated by beta-lactamase. So these comes under the enzyme inhibition of the antibiotic, and with this mechanism of action, they go through the antibiotic resistance. Now the third mechanism with that they show the antibiotic resistance is active transport of the antibiotic out of the bacterial cell. So active transport of the antibiotic out of the bacterial cell, which we call efflux pumps, as removal of some antibiotic, for example like tetracycline, macrolides and quinolines. And the fourth mechanism included decrease their permeability of the bacteria cell wall to the antibiotic. And with the help of this, the alteration in the protein that form channel in the cell membrane, for example they call resistance of the Pseudomonas aerugiosa to a variety of penicillin and cephalosporin. So these are the mechanism of action of antibiotic resistance. Now, as you can see, this is the pictorial view of antibiotic resistance. So they are decreasing the permeability, which include beta lactam and aminoglycosides antibiotic, then which efflux the pump, so which include the tetracycline, quinolines and macrolides, then alter the target site, so they are included beta lactams, quinolines, aminoglycoside, vancomycins and many others. Then we have enzymatic inhibitions also. So some drugs also alter or also causes the antibiotic resistance process by these various mechanisms. Now, when we talk about the general principle of antimicrobial therapy, so identification of the infecting organism should precede antimicrobial therapy when it is possible. The pathogenic microorganism susceptibility to the antimicrobial agents should be determined if a suitable test exists. So, factors that influence the choice of an antimicrobial agent or its doses for a patient include the A's, renal, hepatic function, and site of action, etc. So these are some general principle for antimicrobial therapy. So whenever any person is going through antimicrobial therapy, they have to consider these factors. Then after they have to go for the antimicrobial therapy. Now, selection of antimicrobial agent. So how can we select a exact antimicrobial agent or a good antimicrobial agent? So firstly, we have to check out the empiric therapy. So prior to the identification of the organism, critically ill patients, so in this is followed, then organism susceptibility to the antibiotic test should be followed. Then we have to check the patient factor, that its immunity system, its renal and hepatic function. Then effect of the site of infection on the therapy. So like blood-brain barrier, we have to check every parameters. Then safety of the agent. So how much safer the agent will be when it is taken by any patient. Then cost of the therapy, if that is the cost effective or not. So we have to check out all these things. Then we have to prefer any antimicrobial agent. Now, what are the ideal characteristics of antimicrobial agent? How can we say this is a particular ideal antimicrobial agent? So when we see they have highly selective toxicity to the pathogenic microorganisms in the host body, but they have no or less toxicity to the host, or low proportionality for the development of resistance, so not included hypersensitive reactions in the host, and have rapid and extensive tissue distributions, and be free of interactions with the other drug, and be relatively inexpensive. So these are some ideal characteristics of antimicrobial agent which we have to check before starting any antimicrobial therapy. Now, what are the complications of antimicrobial therapy? When we talk about the complications of antibiotic therapy, so they have a resistance due to inappropriate use of antibiotic. They can cause hypersensitivity reactions like in penicillin, and they can cause direct toxicity like aminoglycoside can cause ototoxicity to the patient. Then super infection. So they also can cause super infection. So super infections in broad spectrum antibiotics cause alteration of the normal flora, often difficult to treat. Now, antimicrobial combination. So, for increasing the effect or to decreasing the side effect of another micro or like another drug, we can take it in the combination. So, what is the advantage of combinations? So, result of combinations therapy can be additive effect. So, it is indifferent effect. We can call the activity of the two drug is combination is equal to the sum of a partial sum of their independent activity when studied separately. Now, the synergistic effect is also the activity of two drug is combination is greater than the sum of their independent activity when studied separately. So, additive effect is just like we have taken two drugs and their effect is equally like is equal to the sum of when we taken them in separate form. But in synergistic effect, it is the greater effect. They show the greater effect when we taken them into the separately as compared to that. Then the another effect is antagonistic effect. So the activity of drug in the combination is less to the sum or a potential sum of their independent activity when studied separately. So in antagonist effect, that the effect should be very less when we take it with the combined. Now, indications for the clinical use of antimicrobial combination. So, what we have to check, we of resistance organisms, polymicrobial infections, initial therapy, desired decreased toxicity, and synergism effect. Now, prevention of the emergence of resistance also include desired resistance, Mycobacterium tuberculosis with the combination, and reduction of beta-lactam inductions with the combination of beta-lactam agent and the aminoglycosides. Now, polymicrobial infections. What is polymicrobial infection? So, intra-abdominal infections and pelvic infections, mixed aerobic and anaerobic organisms came into the polymicrobial infections. Now, initial therapy. What is initial therapy? So, neuropanic patient, in the patient where the nature of the infection is not clear yet, that then we have to start the initial therapy. Now, decreased toxicity. Decrease the toxicity of the drug required for the treatment and thus reduce the dose related toxicity. Now, synergism, they enhance the uptake of aminoglycosides when combined with the beta-lactam antagonist. So, treatment of enterococcal and enterocarditis, ampicillin and gentamicin taken simultaneously. Then, variation streptococcal enterocytitis in penicillin and gentamicin taken simultaneously. Then, streptococcal bacteremia in vancomycin and gentamicin taken simultaneously, and in treatment of pseudomonas infection, beta-lactam agent and aminoglycoside taken simultaneously. Now, inhibition of sequential step. So, sulfonamide with trimethoprim, treatment and prevention of chronic urinary tract infections, typhoid and syngullosis caused by the organism resistance to the ampicillin. Then the another category is inhibition of enzymatic activation. Then disadvantage of the inappropriate use of antimicrobial combination. So the major disadvantage is antagonism effect, increased cost of the drug, adverse effects are greater than super infection can be caused. Now, class of antibiotics. So the main class of antibiotics are microlide and ketoloids, beta-lactam, which include aminoglycoside, penicillins, which include fluoroquinolines, cephalosporins, and then we have tetracycline, and then we have monobactams. Now, coming to the penicillin are the oldest class of antibiotics. So, penicillin have a common chemical structure with which they share with the cephalosporins. Penicillin are generally bactericidal, inhibiting formation of the cell wall. Penicillin are used to treat skin infections, dental infections, ear infections, respiratory tract infections, urinary tract infections, and Gordia. Now, types of penicillin we have. So, the natural penicillin, which include penicillin G, penicillinase resistance penicillin, which include methicillin and oxycillin. Then we have aminopenicillin. So, aminopenicillin include ampicillin and amoxicillin. Then next we have penicillin as side effect. So it include diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, and upset stomach. So in rare cases, penicillin can cause immediate and delayed allergic reactions, separately skin rashes, fever, and anaphylactic shock. So penicillin are classed as category B during the pregnancy. Now, coming to the cephalosporin, cephalosporin have a mechanism of action identical to that of the penicillinase. So, interferes with the synthesis of the bacterial cell wall, and so are the bactericidal. So, cephalosporins are used to treat pneumonia, stabbed throat, stabbed infections, tonsils, bronchitis, otitis media, various type of skin infections, gonorrhea, urinary tract infections. So, cephalosporin antibiotic are commonly used for the surgical prophylaxis. Cefaxin can also used to treat the bone infection. Now, the first generation cephalosporin include they possess the generally excellent coverage against most gram-positive pathogens and variable to poor coverage against most gram-negative pathogens. So, the first generation include cifradin and cefaxin and cefadroxil. Now, the second generation cephalosporins include, in addition to the gram-positive spectrum of the first generation cephalosporin, these agents have expanded gram-negative spectrum. So, cefoxin and cefoctin also have a good activity against bacteroides, fragiles. So, the second generation include cefaclor and cefuroxamine. Now, coming to the third generation cephalosporin, so they have much expanded gram-negative activity. However, some membrane of the group has decreased activity against the gram-positive organism. They have been the advantage of convenient administration, but they are expensive. So, the third generation cephalosporin included cefatazimine and cefiximine and cefoparaxone and cefotraxamine. So, now coming to the fourth generation cephalosporin, so they are extended spectrum against the similar activity against gram positive organism as first generation cephalosporin. They also have a greater resistance to bacteria lactamase than the third generation cephalosporin, and many fourth generation cephalosporin are cross blood brain barrier, so they are effective in meningitis also, so which include cefepime. Now, the fifth generation cephalosporins are used to treat MRSA, methicillin resistant Streptococcus aureus, penicillin resistant Streptococcus pneumoniae, and Pseudomonas aerugiosa and Enterococci. So the fifth generation include ciftaroline and ceftobiopolone. Now, cephalosporin side effects. So, when we talk about the side effect of cephalosporin, they include diarrhea, nausea, mild stomach upset. Approximately 5 to 10% of patients with allergy hypersensitivity to penicillin will also have cross reactivity with cephalosporin. So, cephalosporin antibiotic are the class as pregnancy category B. Now, coming to the carbamazepine, carbapena means, so Carbapine means are A class of beta lactams antibiotics which with a broad spectrum of antibacterial activity. They are highly resistant to most beta lactamase, active against both gram positive and gram negative bacteria and anaerobes with the expectations of intracellular bacteria. So their agent included impamine and meropenemine. So adverse effect of carbaphenamines include headache, rash, GI upset, hypotension, seizure in the patient with renal distension. Now, next category we have monobactams. So monobactams, they are beta-lactam compound. They work only against aerobic gram-negative bacteria, and the only commercially available monobactam available is Astronium, so which come into the azathioprine. And adverse effect of monobactam can include skin rash and occasional abnormal liver function. Now, the next category we have macrolides. So, macrolides are the bacteriostatic binding with the bacterial ribosomes to inhibit the protein synthesis. Macrolides antibiotics are used to treat respiratory tract infections such as pharyngitis, sinusitis, and bronchitis, genital gastrointestinal tract, and skin infections. So, macrolide antibiotics are erythromycin, clarithromycins, azithromycins, and roxamycins. Now, macrolide side effects include nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, infrequently there may be temporary auditory impairment, and oral erythromycins may be highly irritating to the stomach, and when given by the injections may cause severe phlebitis. Macrolides antibiotics should be used with the quotations in the patient with the liver dysfunction. So, pregnancy category B, azithromycin, erythromycin, pregnancy category C, clarithromycin. Now, next we have ketoloids. So, ketoloids are the antibiotic belonging to the macrolides group. Now, much broader spectrum than other macrolides, and ketoloids are effective against macrolides resistance bacteria due to their ability to bind at two sites at the bacterial ribosomes, as well as have a structural modifications that make them poor substrates for efflux pump mediated resistance. The only ketoloids on the market at this moment is talithromycins, which is sold under the brand name Catec. Now, next we have lincosamide. Lincosamide include lincomycins and clindamycins. So, lincosamides prevent bacteria replicating by interfering with the synthesis of protein. They are normally used to treat streptococci and staphylococci and streptococci, and have provide useful in treating bacteriocytes, flagellas, and some other anaerobes. Now, they are used in the treatment of toxic shock syndrome. Now, next we have aminoglycosides. So, the aminoglycosides are the bacteria and bactericidal and work by stopping bacteria from making proteins. Aminoglycosides antibiotics are used to treat infections caused by gram-negative bacteria. Aminoglycoside may be used along with the penicillin and cephalosporins to give a prolonged attack on the bacteria. Since aminoglycosides are broken down easily in the stomach, they cannot be given by the mouth and must be injected. Generally, aminoglycosides are given for short time period. Aminoglycoside group include amikacin, gentamicin, neomycin, streptomycins, and tobramycins. Now, aminoglycoside side effect included ototoxicity, nephrotoxicity. Aminoglycosides are classified as pregnancy category D. So next the next antibiotics we have fluoroquinolines. So they are the synthetic antibiotic not derived from the bacteria. Fluoroquinolines are broad spectrum bactericidal drug. They that are like chemically unrelated to the penicillin or the cephalosporins. So fluoroquinolines inhibit the bacteria by interfering with their ability to make DNA. The effect is bactericidal. Because of their excellent absorptions, fluoroquinolines can be administered not only by the intravenous but orally as well. Now, fluoroquinolines are used to treat most common urinary tract infections, skin infections, and respiratory infections. Fluoroquinolines group include ciprofloxacin, levofloxacin, norfloxacin, ofloxacin, and moxifloxacin. Now, fluoroquinolone side effects included nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal pain, irreversible damage to the central nervous system, tendinosis. Fluoroquinolones are the class as category C in the pregnancy. Now we have sulfonamide or cotrimoxazole and trimethoprim. So they are an antibiotic used in the treatment of a variety of bacterial, fungal, and protozoal infections. Cotrimoxazole is generally considered bactericidal, although components are individually bacteriostatic, and its action are anti-inflammatory in the nature. They inhibit both de novo folate biosynthesis and metabolism. Now, cotrimoxazole side effects include nausea, vomiting, and allergic reactions and infections with the Clostridium difficile, a type of diarrhea. Cotrimoxazole is categorized as in category C in the pregnancy. Some state it should be used during the breastfeeding, while other state it is okay. Tetracycline. So tetracycline are broad spectrum and bacteriostatic agent and worked by inhibiting the bacterial protein synthesis. So tetracyclines may be effective against a wide variety of microorganisms, including rickettsia and amoebic parasites. Tetracycline are used in the treatment of infection of the respiratory, sinuses, middle ear, urinary tract, and skin intestine. Now, tetracycline are used to treat gonorrhea, Rocky Mount spotted fever, Lyme disease, and typhus. Their most common current use is the treatment of moderately severe acne and rosacea. So, tetracycline antibiotic included tetracycline, doxycycline, monocycline, and oxytetracycline. Now, tetracycline side effect included cramps or burning of the stomach, diarrhea, sore mouth or tongue, skin photosensitivity, allergic reactions. Tetracycline are categorized as a class D in the pregnancy, and they are used during pregnancy, can cause alteration in the bone development of the baby. Now, chloramfenicol, it is a bacteriostatic and it is considered as a prototypical broad spectrum antibiotic. Analogides alongside the tetracyclines, and as it is both cheap and easy to manufacture, it is frequently an antibiotic of choice in the developing world. So effective against a wide variety of gram positive and gram negative bacteria, including most antibiotic organisms. Now, due to resistance and safety concentration concern, it is no longer a first-line agent for infection in the developed nation, and with the notable expectations of topical treatment of bacterial conservators. Now, chloramfenicol side effects include the most serious adverse effect associated with the chloramfenicol treatment is bone marrow toxicity. Use of intravenous chloramfenicol has also seen be associated with the gray baby syndrome, and other less serious reactions included fever, rashes, headache, and confusion. Now, next we have glycopeptide. So, glycopeptide include vancomycin. These antibiotics are effective principally against gram-positive cocci. Now, this class of drug inhibit the synthesis of cell wall in the susceptible microbes by inhibiting peptidoglycan synthesis. Vancomycin is used in the infections with the methicillin resistant Staphylococcus aureus is susceptible. Now, due to their toxicity, use of glycopeptides antibiotic is resisted to patients who are critically ill, who have a demonstrated hypersensitivity to the beta lactam and or who are infected with the beta lactam resistant species, and they exhibit a narrow spectrum of actions and are bactericidal only against the enterococci. Now, oral preparation of vancomycin are available, however, they are not absorbed from the lumen of the gut and formulated for the treatment of infections like within the gastrointestinal tract and Clostridium difficile, for example. Now, vancomycin side effect included. It can is usually can cause tissue necrosis while using IV route. Then it can cause Redman syndrome. Then it can cause nephrotoxicity also, blood disorder, and it can risk of accumulation in the patient with the renal impairment also there. Now we have streptogramins. Streptogramins are the effective in the treatment of vancomycin resistant Staphylococcus aureus and vancomycin resistant Enterococcus. So, two of the most rapidly growing strains of the multi-drug resistance bacteria. Now, members include of this is prestamycins and virginomycins. Now, coming to the adverse effect, it can cause headache, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. It can cause nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and rashes, pain, asthma, pertussis. Now, the next category we have oxazolidine. So, oxazolidine include linezolid. So, linezolid inhibits the ribosomal protein synthesis by inhibiting formation of the inhibitions complex. Now, it is used for the treatment of serious infections caused by gram-positive bacteria that are resistant to several other antibiotics. Now, the main indications of linezolid are infection of the skin and soft tissue and pneumonia. Common adverse effect included headache, diarrhea, nausea, and long-term use can cause bone marrow suppression and low platelet counts. Now, next we have enzamycin. So enzamycin is a family of secondary metabolites that show antimicrobial activity against many gram-positive, gram-negative bacteria, which includes various compounds along with the strepto variations and rapamycins. Rapamycins are a subclass of enzamycins with highly potency against mycobacteria. This resulted in their widespread use in the treatment of tuberculosis, leprosy, and AIDS-related mycobacterial infections. Now, adverse effects include hepatotoxicity, respiratory syndrome like breathlessness, and cutaneous syndrome like flushes, pertussis, rashes, redness. Then in abdominal, they can cause nausea, vomiting, abdominal cramps, and flu-like symptoms like chill, fever, headache. Now, the next category we have metronidazole. So, metronidazole are nitroimidazole antibiotic medications used particularly for anaerobic bacteria and protozoa. So, it is a bacterial agent against anaerobic organism and amoebocytes and an antiprotozoal drug. and it inhibits the nucleic acid synthesis by disrupting the DNA of the microbial cell, and the functions only occur when the metronidazole is partially reduced, and because this reduction usually happens only in the anaerobic bacterial cells, and it has relatively little effect upon the human cells or aerobic bacteria, and it is like primary used to treat the bacterial vaginosis, pelvic inflammatory disease, and also it is used in amoebosis and trichomoniasis. Now it is often like used to eradicate the Helicobacter pylori along with the drug and to prevent infection in the people recovering from the surgery. Adverse effects include discolored urine, headache, metallic taste, nausea. Metronidazole is classed as pregnancy category B. So this is all about your antibiotic, class of antibiotic, mechanism of action of antibiotic, and side effect, their various uses in their various clinical conditions. Now coming to the quiz questions related to this lecture, it included what is antibiotic, what do antibiotic treat, what don't antibiotic treat, what are the side effects of antibiotics, why is it important to take antibiotics only when they are needed, and what is necessary antibiotic use, what questions to ask before like taking or giving antibiotics, what are the seven types of antibiotic, what questions will you ask your doctor regarding antibiotics and their use when you have to take it, and what disease can antibiotic treat. So you can easily answer these basic questions, they are all related to the lecture. Now coming to the reference part, we have taken all the informations from the some Wikipedia for the antibiotics, then the some class of antibiotic, then we have taken orthobullets from the orthobullets and classification and mechanism of action of antibiotic, and some are taken from Midline Plus antibiotics, and some are taken from YouTube channels, and some are taken from KDT Tripathi. So you can definitely check out these references for the further knowledge. For today, this is all. Thank you for kindly listening to me.